Have you ever noticed that you're not actually hungry, but the moment you feel stressed, you suddenly start craving something sweet or a high-calorie snack? Maybe it's before an exam, after an argument, or at the end of a long, exhausting day at work or school. All of a sudden, you feel like you have to eat something. The interesting part is that, most of the time, your stomach isn't really hungry. It's your brain asking for food. But why? When you're under stress, your brain believes you're facing some kind of danger. It doesn't really matter whether that danger is a wild animal or simply a stressful text message. To your brain, both can trigger the same alarm system. At that moment, your body starts releasing a hormone called cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol's job is to prepare your body to deal with difficult situations. But it also has a side effect. It increases your appetite. Why? Because your body thinks, I might need a lot of energy soon, so I'd better store some fuel. That's when you suddenly start craving chocolate, ice cream, pizza, or potato chips. You might wonder, why don't I ever crave lettuce or cucumbers when I'm stressed? The answer is simple. Sugary and fatty foods cause your brain to release more dopamine. Dopamine is the chemical that gives you a temporary feeling of pleasure and comfort. So in reality, your brain isn't looking for food. It's looking for relief. Food is simply the fastest shortcut your brain has learned to feel better. That's why after eating an entire bag of chips or a few slices of cake, you might feel better for a little while. But that feeling usually doesn't last long. Once it fades, the stress comes back. Sometimes it's even joined by guilt. And then the cycle starts all over again. Stress. Food. A few moments of relief. Then stress again. This is what psychologists often call emotional eating. In other words, eating not because your body needs food, but because you're trying to escape an uncomfortable emotion. What's interesting is that not everyone eats more when they're stressed. Some people experience the exact opposite. They completely lose their appetite. That's because everyone's body responds to stress differently. But if you're someone who heads straight to the refrigerator whenever you're anxious, overwhelmed, or upset, it doesn't mean you're weak or lack self-control. It's a natural response from your brain. Of course, just because it's natural doesn't mean it's always helpful. If every time you need comfort you turn to food, your brain slowly learns that eating is the solution to every unpleasant emotion. After a while, even the smallest amount of stress, boredom, loneliness, or sadness can make food the first thing that comes to mind. So the next time you're having a stressful day and suddenly feel like eating, pause for a second before opening the refrigerator. Ask yourself one simple question. Am I really hungry, or am I just stressed? Sometimes, the answer to that one question can change everything. Because maybe what your body really needs isn't food. Maybe it's a few minutes of rest, a short walk, a conversation with a friend, or simply taking a few deep breaths. Your brain is always searching for a way to reduce stress. If you teach it healthier ways to cope, over time, those will become its first choice. And perhaps the most important thing is this. The next time you feel the urge to eat, don't judge yourself. First, try to understand what you're really feeling. Because many times, the thing that's hungry isn't your stomach. It's your mind.